Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome on in. This is going to be a Legion perk tier list in Dead by Daylight. These are going to be all the perks in Dead by Daylight for Killer and how useful they are on the Legion. So S is the absolute best perks that you can use on Legion, and D, also known as just 1 star, is like one of the absolute worst picks you could ever bring. And like somewhere in the middle is like, yeah, it's all right. So let's start things off with Agitation. Agitation is just a C tier perk. And the reason why is because Legion doesn't really benefit from the time saving aspect of this perk. Agitation helps you get to a hook a little bit quicker when you're carrying a survivor. Legion has lots of slowdown in their base kit and their add-ons, so this isn't too useful. It saves you like 2 or 3 seconds. Not that great. Brutal Strength. This is an A tier perk for Legion just immediately, and the reason why is because Legion does not have any anti-loop, and so chewing through pallets is very helpful. You can also use this with Frank's mixtape if you're doing a gen kicking build or a wall breaking build or something like that. So it has add-on synergy as well. It actually is quite helpful. Unnerving Presence. This is just a dog shit perk that sucks on everyone. Same with Predator, same with Shadowborn. In fact, Legion gets Shadowborn base kit. When you're in Frenzy and running around, you literally have Shadowborn. It extends your FOV by 15 degrees, so you don't even need Shadowborn on Legion. Bloodhound, I'm going to put in dog shit tier as well. Legion can't even see pools of blood in Frenzy, so you don't benefit from the auras or the highlighting effect of pools of blood. Lightborn, dog shit perk. Even on Legion, just terrible. And the reason mostly why for Legion is because it's beneficial to you to be blinded out of Frenzy 9 times out of 10, because it pulls you out of your power, but it doesn't give you that 3-second cooldown. So you can like Legion tech and stuff, which is where you can vault the pallet, you know, survivor blinds you, they pull you out of your power, and then you just down them. So when you have Lightborn on, you just can't do that. Enduring. This is another A tier perk. Again, Chase. It helps Legion and Chase. No anti-loop, and it works with some of their add-ons. Iridescent Button. It works with Julie's mixtape. It's great. It's helpful. You get stunned by the pallet, jump over, immediately break it, all that kind of stuff. It's a very popular build. It's good. Tinkerer, I'm gonna put in probably B. It kind of fucks over your power because when it triggers, you get stealth with undetectable and you lose killer instinct, but it also tells you where survivors are and it lets you sneak up on them. And nobody ever expects Legion to have a stealth like build, because why would you do that? So it's actually an alright pick. Distressing. This is just fucking dog shit. It gives you bonus blood points, but who cares? It's a larger terror radius. You get one anyway when you're in Frenzy. You get a 40-meter terror radius in Frenzy, up from 32 meters. So Distressing would make that, what, 50 meters? Yeah, it's not really a good perk. Monster Shrine, I'm going to put in C tier. It's not horrible, but the thing with Legion is they can't just immediately get away from the hook like a killer like Blight, so they don't really benefit too much from it. Unrelenting. Don't miss. It's just a dog shit perk. It doesn't work any better on Legion. It's just not that great. Sloppy Butcher, I'm gonna put in B. It applies Mangled and Hemorrhage. It makes Hemorrhage stronger as well. You can use Sloppy Butcher, or you can choose to use some of Legion's add-ons. They have the D-Face Smiley Pin and the Joey's Mixtape that apply the effects of Sloppy Butcher when you combine them. So you can either use Sloppy Butcher or 2 add-ons for the same effect, or you can just use 1 add-on plus a duration add-on or something to help you chain hits. Sloppy Butcher, it's okay. Iron Grasp, I'm going to put in C tier as well. Just like Agitation, it's a time-saving thing. It doesn't really matter. Spies from the Shadows, I'm going to put in C tier. It's an okay tracking perk. It like shows you the crow icon, but there's way better options, so it's just not that good. Bitter Murmur, same story as well. There's better options, especially for Legion, and you got to consider as well they have Killer Instinct in the power, so tracking perks in general are going to be a little less desirable in Legion, except for like namely 1 or 2, which we'll eventually get to. Deer Stalker, dog shit perk. Legion doesn't slug. They have no reason to slug outside of like 1 or 2 niche situations where you down someone in Frenzy and then, oh hey, there you go, survivor's right in front of you. But usually you just find the slug survivor anyway, so this is pointless. Insidious as well, just dog shit perk. There's no reason to ever use Insidious, period, I'd say. And this is just completely worthless on Legion. No one escapes death. I'm gonna put in S tier. And the reason why, this might sound like I'm trolling, but because it stacks with BFFs, you can get 10% movement speed, and that's fucking insane. So that is literally the only reason it is an S tier. Otherwise, I'd put it like in like B. But yeah, because you can get literally 10% speed if you use it with BFFs, that's insane. So it's an S tier perk. Whispers, I almost called this Insidious Whispers. I'm going to put in C tier as well. Not only is it hard and convoluted for people to use, but it's also just, again, there's better options. Who cares? Third Seal, I'm going to put in B tier. Legion's one of the best killers who can actually make use of Third Seal, the other being Trickster, because he only has to hit you with one knife to proc it. Legion can proc Third Seal within like the first 30 seconds, have all 4 survivors affected by blindness. So that's actually kind of hype. Ruin as well, I'm going to put in B, and the reason why is because of Fuming Mixtape. You can stack this to 200%. If this was the old Ruin, I would put it probably all the way up in S, but Fuming Mixtape, because it stacks with Ruin, and Ruin's got nerfed by 100%, it's now only B tier. So Ruin with Fuming Mixtape's 200%, where the old version would be 300%. So yeah, it's in B tier. Devour Hope, I'm going to put this in B tier. It's not a bad perk. It's not a great perk either. It just lets you mori people, man. That's about it. Also, the haste is a little bit nice when you leave a hook. There's Devour Hope is just a good perk. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. It doesn't matter what kill you're playing, really. Devour Hope is just good. Throw of the Hunt, I'm going to say, is also actually B tier. And the reason why is only in totem builds. If you have Throw of the Hunt, it is literally impossible for survivors who have Deep Wound to cleanse or bless totems, because they'll bleed out before they can cleanse the totem. So if you're really, really annoying, you can you can hit a survivor, hit another survivor, and just basically stop them from cleansing totems whenever you want, because they physically won't be able to cleanse it before bleeding out. So it's actually kind of nice. Order, dog shit perk. No one cares. It's just bad. Oppression, this is C tier. Yeah, you can like proc with Franks, but it has an 80-second cooldown, and that kind of sucks. So coup de grace, this is an S tier perk on Legion, because Frenzy is a special attack. It won't consume stacks, and you get a health state out of the way for free. And so then you can use coup de grace to finish off that survivor with an extended ledge. Basically, you get Friendship Bracelet, but for normal attacks. It's really, really good. Barbecue and Chili, I'm going to put in B. You're going to notice a trend with quite a bit of aura perks, actually, that they're just going to be B. And that's because we live in a meta currently where everyone likes to use Distortion and play like really stealthy. It's obnoxious as fuck. But yeah, even if Distortion was nerfed and wasn't as oppressive, Barbecue and Chili wouldn't be any better on Legion, because they don't have a way to get to those survivors that you see. It's nice knowing where they are, but you can't capitalize on this information because you don't move fast enough in Frenzy to get there. So yeah, not worth it. Knockout, dog shit perk. Franklin's Demise, another dog shit perk. If you want to use Franklin's or have an effect similar to Franklin's, use Stolen Sketchbook. It's not only easier to trigger because it works in Frenzy, but it's also more consistent because you won't have to rely on M1s. Starstruck, dog shit perk for Legion. Unfortunately, it's a cool icon, cool perk, but it just is awful in Legion. And the reason why is because it's an exposed perk on Legion. And unlike Devour Hope, where you can mori people, exposed on Legion when everyone's probably already injured, yeah, not that great. Crowd Control, I'm going to put in A tier. It's really damn helpful because it gives Legion strong anti-loop, but it's a hex, so it can be cleansed. But yeah, blocks windows for 60 seconds. That's a pretty big deal. You should definitely try it. It's an amazing perk on Legion. They need that anti-loop. There's another hex that will go here soon that is also very good. No Way Out, I'm going to put S tier. It's just an amazing perk in general, but also if you use this with BFFs, can help you kind of clear house in the end game. Save the Best for Last, dog shit perk on Legion. Great on a lot of killers, horrible on Legion because most of the time you're an M2 killer. You're an M2 killer and then you're only getting the M1 bonus on downs. So yeah, it's terrible. Dying Light, dog shit perk. It's like 2% per token. Yeah, it's awful. I think it's 3%, right? It might be 3 or 2% speed penalty per token. The problem with Dying Light is by the time the speed penalty like racks up to a high percentage, you've already won the game. Like there's maybe 2 survivors left, so it just doesn't matter. Play with the food, I'm actually gonna put in C tier. It's niche, but you can use it on some builds on Legion to have a lot of fun. It's not horrible, but it's also not like a meta build perk. It's just fun to use. So yeah, it's just in C. It also does work with frenzy speed. What I've seen some people do is they get like a stack off of their obsession when they leave them, and they have sketch, so they're moving like 5.8 off of just 1 hit. So it can kind of help you chain some hits occasionally, but yeah, it's overall I don't think it's that good. Overwhelming Presence, again, dog shit perk, man. I don't even know why I would need to elaborate on this. It's just a terrible perk. Monitor Abuse, I'm gonna put in probably B on Legion. And the reason why is because it lets you see a little bit more people in Frenzy, but the main benefit is it gives you a smaller tear radius when not in chase. This is really what makes it B tier. It lets you get value out of sunglasses more consistently because they don't hear you coming by the time that you start seeing their auras. And it also lets you sneak up on survivors and close some distance while they're injured, because they'll have a less of a warning that you're coming. So Monitor Abuse is actually pretty decent on Legion. Overcharge, I'm going to say that this is a pretty damn good perk. It's B tier. Best used with Frank's Mixtape. Beast of Prey, terrible perk. Just another garbage pick. Why can't I? Yeah, whatever. I don't think it really matters where I put this. It's just bad. Huntress Lullaby. This is just kind of shit, but it's also not completely horrible. It's just that it will probably get cleansed before it does anything. So that's more of a perk issue rather than a Legion issue. Territorial Imperative, dog shit. You can't defend basement as Legion unless you have 4 hits in Frenzy. So who cares? Lethal Pursuer, S tier perk. Lets you immediately just get chain hits at the very start of the game, and also works with Stab Wound Study. Stab Wound Study for 6 seconds with Lethal Pursuer is amazing. It lets you see auras for so long. Hysteria, I'm gonna put in I'll put in B. The thing with Hysteria is it fucks over your power a lot like Tinkerer, where they're oblivious, so they can't be seen on Killer Instinct, but they're oblivious. So if everyone's injured, then that's an opportunity for you to sneak up on them. So if you have really good game sense, or you have like some other way of tracking them, like you have maybe Stab Wound Study and they've mended before, or maybe you have like a perk that shows where they are, then this is actually kind of nice. But don't just use this with just base Legion, because then it's going to feel like it's complete trash. Eruption, I'm going to put in B tier as well. It's a gen kick perk. Use it with Franks. Otherwise, it's just going to be whatever. Blood Warden in C. It's not horrible, but it's just so situational that it probably won't do anything. Fire Up, I'm going to put in probably... I'm going to say probably C. Yeah, why not? You have to lose the game for it to get stacks. And if you want the action speed boost, you can use either Bamboozle for faster vaults, or you can use Brutal Strength for faster kicks. So yeah, I don't really think Fire Up is all that worth it. Remember Me, I'm going to say is B. And the reason why is because Legion can actually get stacks on Remember Me pretty quickly. You just hit them in Frenzy, boom, there you go, 1 stack. Council Frenzy, down them, that's 2 stacks really easily. And if you have perks that switch the obsession around, like the new Furtive Chase, which got reworked, then yeah, you can actually get Furtive, or not Furtive, but Remember Me stacks very quickly. Just remember to kill your obsession, or else Remember Me sucks. Hangman's Trick is C. I don't think it's a horrible perk by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not good on Legion. It's just kind of whatever. Surveillance, I'm going to put in B. It's an okay tracking perk. You can probably want to use it with either Jolt or Pain Res for some info. Otherwise, it's going to feel pretty terrible. Just whatever you do not use this with Fumin Mixtape, because it overrides Fumin Mixtape. It will show you the aura of the surveillance rather than the aura of the generator's progress. So keep that in mind. Make your choice. Dog shit. It's not good in this meta. Deadlock, S tier perk, especially on Legion. 30 seconds of game delay for free is huge. Plaything, again, a B tier perk. It's oblivious, so watch out with Killer Instinct, but otherwise I think that this is a perfectly fine perk. This is... oh, what's it called? Scourge Hook, Gift of Pain. 7,000 hours, by the way. Gift of Pain. It's Sloppy Butcher, but on unhook, and it also gives them action speed. So if they're bots and they end up healing, then they're gonna get slower gens. It's like almost a 20% slowdown. So that's actually quite nice. Color Phobia, just not good. Just don't heal in Tatariu. It doesn't do anything. Most survivors don't really like to heal against Legion anyway, so yeah, it's just like, why? Pop Goes the Weasel, A tier. Not because it's like specifically good on Legion, just because it's a good perk. Bamboozle, on the other hand, is a pretty good perk. It procs in Frenzy, so while it doesn't make you vault faster in Frenzy, you can vault in Frenzy to block the window and then cancel and down the survivor, so it can be quite nice. Spirit Fury as well, I'm going to put an A because it works really well with Eerie Button and the aforementioned Enduring. There's like a whole Enduring Julie's mixtape combo that you can do. Haunted Ground, terrible. It's just exposed on Legion. Who fucking cares? Rancor, I'm gonna say C only because of the notification tracking thing. It's like Bitter Murmur. It's the same kind of thing, except you can down the obsession in one hit at the end of the game and mori them. So do with that as you will. Grim Embrace. Yeah, I'm gonna say C. I've used it a few times. 40 seconds of gem block is quite nice, but you have to poke 4 different survivors for that to happen. And the revealing aspect, again, it's just mid. But it's okay, I guess. Pain Res, S tier perk, just because it's amazing. Pentimento, also gonna be in B tier with like all these other perks. If survivors choose to cleanse totems, then it's really good. You can also use this with Plaything to force them to kind of cleanse it. A smart survivor will just not cleanse if you have Plaything though, and your Legion, because why would you want to be seen by Legion's Frenzy? It makes no sense. So yeah, smart survivors will just stay oblivious if you have Plaything. Discordance, S tier, because it shows you where multiple survivors are. Their own perk is really good for them. Wow, who would have thought? Yeah, maybe not, because Mad Grit's fucking awful. D tier. No one ever uses on Legion. Same with Iron Maiden. These 2 perks. Legion's own perks, absolute fucking trash on Legion. They're better on other killers. Awful on Legion. Floods of Rage, B tier. It's aura tracking on unhook. And again, Legion can't capitalize on auras across the map, so who cares? Call Brine, B tier. You pair it with Overcharge and Frank's Mixtape, it's pretty good. Otherwise, on its own, it's just whatever. Merciless Storm, you can say B tier. Bad survivors will miss skill checks a lot. And when they have to hit like a bunch in succession, this procs quite a bit. Also, this fucks over any like survivor who's greeting Deep Wound. So if they're in Deep Wound and they're trying to finish a gen, they're probably gonna have to let go and mend because of Merciless Storm and Deep Wound. Corrupt Intervention, B. It's okay. The one downside to this is it kind of splits up survivors at the start of the game. So if you spawn in as a survivor and there's corrupt, the first thing you do is you just kind of leave, even if you're like next to a teammate. Your teammate might go one way, you're going to go the other way, when instead you might just both go on the gen. So yeah, it can kind of split up survivors at the start of the game, but that's the same kind of like downside for a lot of these perks in here, where it either gets cleansed really quickly or it fucks over your power in some way. Infectious Fright, I'm gonna put in C. Nah, fuck it, D. I thought about it a little bit more, but yeah, Legion's not good at slugging, and also we live in a calm spirit meta right now where everyone and their mother has distortion and calm spirit. So yeah, this does literally nothing. Dark Devotion, I'm gonna put in C. It's a gimmick perk, but Legion can use it pretty well because they can see Killer Instinct within the radius of that new terror radius that the survivor carries with them. So if the survivor is like halfway across the map, you'll see people halfway across the map, and you can use Suze's mixtape with this to still see people within 20 meters of you and an extra 20 meters on that other terror radius. So you can see a lot of people. It's basically like cross map Killer Instinct. Disillusion, I'm going to put in B. It can help you deal with pallets, but the one thing is if survivors stay injured, this stops working, because Deep Wound for Killer is not considered a health state. It is considered a health state for Survivor, but not for Killer. So if you hit someone in Frenzy and they're already injured and you apply Deep Wound, it will not trigger Dissolution. They have to be healthy to injured or injured to down. It won't trigger on injured to injured. Darkness revealed fucking dog shit on Legion, because why are you wasting your time searching lockers on Legion? You're not hunters. It doesn't matter. Septic Touch, again, horrible for Legion because nobody fucking heals, and also because they have to heal in your terror radius. So yeah, it's terrible. Showered Hope, I'm gonna put in C. I still think Showered Hope is an okay perk. It's not good, yeah, but it's not bottom of the barrel garbage, and it can work on Legion as well. If you break a totem, you see the aura of someone, you can frenzy after them. That's basically the only use case. I'm all ears, same kind of thing. But the reason why it's down here and not like up here is because it is a 40-second cooldown. Jesus Christ. Thrilling Tremors, I'm going to say, is also in C. It's another tracking perk with a really long cooldown. If it had a shorter cooldown or it worked a little differently, it would probably be higher on Legion. But yeah, it's just whatever. Who cares? Furtive Chase, I've been using it a little bit. I'm just going to say it's C as well. It's fun to play with. The speed is nice. The undetectable can help you in a bit of situations, but it does that for every killer, so it's just kind of meh. Superior Anatomy is an A tier Legion perk because it does not affect Frenzy. It will not trigger on Frenzy vaults. It will only trigger on normal vaults. So what you can do is you can hit a survivor, follow them by vaulting the window, cancel Frenzy, they loop a bit, and then when they vault another window, you just immediately vault it after them and catch up really, really quickly. It's awesome. All right, so next is Awakened Awareness. This is just bad for Legion. Who cares? You see people within 20 meters of you while carrying someone, you can't do anything about it, and also because distortion. Bad. Terminus, I'm gonna put in an A for Legion because people like to stay injured against Legion, but it is an endgame perk, so be aware of that. But Broken until the exit gates are opened, and then for 30 seconds after is a big deal, especially when the killer doesn't have anti-loop, because it saves you a lot of time. Jolt, S tier perk. It's an amazing perk, no cooldown, and Legion likes to M1 a lot of injured people, so you can often trigger this perk like 2 or 3 times within quick succession. It's quite nice. Mindbreaker, S tier perk, prevents sprint burst, and also prevents people from using exhaustion perks throughout the game. It's very nice. Cruel Limits, I'm gonna put in B. It's nice, but it's good on every killer, so yeah. Nowhere to Hide, I'm gonna put in B only because of the Frank's mixtape build with this. You can use Frank's mixtape and then the Call of Brian and Overcharge combo, and then you can kick a gen with Frank's, see the person, run after them, hit them, and then get Killer Instinct on people nearby. It's okay like that. Face of Darkness as well, I'm gonna put in B. It's basically map-wide Killer Instinct if you think about it. So yeah, Hubris, terrible, because why the fuck are you exposing survivors as Legion? Game Afoot, I think, is that Skull Merchant perk. It's dog shit. Who cares if it's on Legion? It does not matter. Thwack, same thing. Who fucking cares? This is all Skull Merchant perks suck. Leverage, Thwack, and Game Afoot, they're just bad perks in general, so no surprise there. Zanjin Tactics, terrible, even for Legion, because auras and stuff for windows and pallets, no, still bad. Blood Echo, S tier perk because everyone's injured and you're going to be exhausting them, and survivors like to rely on exhausted perks to be good at the game. So if they have made for this, it gets countered. If they have sprint burst, gets countered. If they have lithe, gets countered. If they have balance landing, gets countered. Basically no exhaustion perks throughout the whole game if you use these 2 perks together, which is really strong. Nemesis, dog shit. It's just bad. Thanatophobia, dog shit. Even on Legion, no, I'm sorry, it's dog shit. If you have to use Legion Pin and have 4 survivors injured for this to be good, it's fucking bad. It just sucks. Thana is garbage. It's never really been good on Legion, but even now it's awful. It's completely worthless. Do not use it. Nurse's Calling, B. It's nice to have, but you want to use Monitor with this. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of hard to get value, and also distortion. So just keep that in mind. Strider, I'll put in, not dog shit. I thought about it for like 1 more second. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a C because they're all injured, but no, that's the same reason for Thana, and nobody fucking cares. So Strider is equally terrible. Gearhead, I'm gonna put in B. You can get a lot of value really quickly, and then it just suddenly stops. So it's sort of like Disillusion in that way, where like it works at the beginning of the game and then it will just suddenly stop working when everyone stays injured. Deadman Switch, I'm gonna put like in B. Use it with Panres or otherwise figure something out. It's not a horrible perk, but it's also not amazing on Legion. Retribution, I'll put in B as well. It's an okay aura reading perk, but also inflicts Oblivious, so double-edged sword. Genetic limits, dog shit. Just, it's bad, man. I'm sorry, it's just bad. Forced hesitation, also bad for Legion. The machine learning perk, I'll put it in here with like dark devotion and stuff. It's gimmicky, it's fun, but it's not good. Forced penance, no. Who fucking cares? Good survivors don't really care if they're broken because it's a Legion. Who cares? Trail of Torment, I'm gonna put in no, actually I'll put in B. That's a real surprise for some people. Because you can use Susan's mixtape, and if they don't touch the gen, it is perma undetectable Legion who you don't hear coming and can see you within 20 meters. That's a big deal actually. Especially if you use Mischief List with that. That's quite hype. So Deathbound, dog shit. Not because it's like specifically bad on Legion, just because it sucks. Alien Instinct, this is the one with like the scream stuff with lockers. I'm gonna say that this is C. It's better than Darkness Revealed, but it's also not a particularly good perk on Legion because again, why are you searching lockers? Rapid Brutality, dog shit on Legion. You need Bloodlust as Legion because you don't have anti-loop, so this just fucking hurts you. It also doesn't work in Frenzy, by the way. It's only basic attacks. If it worked in Frenzy and it gave you 5% haste per hit in Frenzy, that would be fucking insane because then you could use that with Sketch and List and then you'd move at like 7 meters a second. But no, it only works in basic hits, so it's just bad. What's this one? The Mr. Beast perk. Because it looks like Mr. Beast. S tier. It's the new alien perk. It's S tier. Reveals the furthest aura of the injured survivor and makes them oblivious. Okay, it's not that good. I'll put in A. I'll put in A. No, I'll put in B. I'm just thinking about more. See their aura, but they could have distortion. Oh, but they're oblivious, but you're Legion. It's B. Fuck it. It's B. Dragon's Grip, bad. Exposed, who cares? Undying, B. You have to use it with other hexes. Here we go. Blood Favor. This is the last killer perk. And this is the one I was talking about way back with crowd control. It blocks it blocks pallets when you injure a survivor or when a survivor loses a health state. Very good perk. So this is it. This is the add-on, or not add-on. This is the perk tier list for Legion in Dead by Daylight. This is as of the 7.3 patch. It probably should have said that at the very beginning. Now I think about it, but this is the 7.3 patch. Okay, so if down the line you see like, I don't know, Mad Grit. Mad Grit's apparently meta in the year 2025, and you're wondering why it's not S tier. That's why, okay? Because it's patch 7.3. So there you go. That's my perk tier list for Legion in Dead by Daylight. These are the best perks to use on Legion, and why. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. See you guys around. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.